And at that point, I considered, maybe I gotta put a knife in my ear. I don't think hearing is for me right now. I don't think I want to do that. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly, if you're new here, and let's just get right into it. I've watched The Idol, so you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to do it. There are supposed to be 5 episodes, 3 are out right now. I watched them. There's no other way to say it, melted my brain. And I'm gonna break them down for you so you don't have to spend, like 3 hours of your life doing this? It's too many hours, like, you know what I mean? Like, you are gifted so few hours on God's green earth. And do you need to spend them watching every show that comes out? No. I'm gonna say a few things before I get started because I feel like I need to add some disclaimers. I don't know anything about film. I'm not a film bro. So my criticisms here are barely even criticisms. They're more like observations. I'm taking the piss. I'm making jokes. I really feel after watching these 3 episodes, like I cannot even comment as to whether or not this show is good or bad. I don't think it's fair. I don't know how to write a show, and it's confusing. It's a confusing show, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. You know what I mean? So I just want to say, like, when I make jokes about this, don't get mad at me. I am above reproach and criticism. Are you writing that down? So if I say something that seems negative, I'm just making jokes. I'm not like the arbiter of taste. You know what I mean? The show is crazy. It felt like I had done crack cocaine, to be quite honest. It felt like I had entered a different astral plane and I had not asked to be entering that plane. Did not consent to that. But like, I don't know if I can say something is good or bad because like I'm not a cultural criticizer. It just felt insane to me. Okay? So that's that. I'm going to tell you what the show is about so you can understand it before I get into summarizing the first 3 episodes. So also worth noting, we're more than halfway in. Okay? And if you want me to really break down the last 2 episodes, I will for you, babe. Okay? Anything for you? The main character of The Idol is Jocelyn. She is like a Britney Spears-like pop girly singer, dancer. She is played by Lily Rose Depp. And if you don't know who Lily Rose Depp is, I look exactly like her if you had put her in the microwave and melted her. You want to just like melt Lily Rose Depp? It's me. She experienced a mental breakdown of sorts last year because her mother died of cancer. She's now releasing her 2nd album and she feels as though it's not creatively fulfilling. She's very lost, very confused. She gets enthralled with, what's his name? Tedros, played by The Weeknd, Toronto hometown boy. Because I'm also from Toronto, so. And he's like a weird cult leader. He has a rat tail, and it seems like he wants to basically ruin her life. They have disgusting sex that makes me think, I guess sex isn't for me. If this is what sex is, I'm not interested in having it ever. I'm a virgin. Sponsors? Just saying. That's really it. That's kind of the through line of the show, this abusive relationship between the two. The relationship is abusive on purpose. I'm not going to be making kind of like a pop feminism comment that it's really bad, because the point is it's bad. The point is nobody on her team cares about her. She's overly sexualized. The point is the power dynamic between the two. Is she in power? If you consent to being abused, is it still abuse? It's very complex, and to be honest, I don't have the master's degree to conduct a criticism on it in that way. But that's the through line of the whole thing. Let's get into episode 1. Episode 1 opens up with Jocelyn taking the cover photos for her next album. She's in a red little slinky, like robe thing, lingerie. The whole thing of this is like she's being sexy, right? Sexy. And she wants to show nipple on her cover. We've all been there. But her nudity clause in her label contract states that she can only show top, side, and under boob. No nipple. And there's a weird intimacy intimacy coordinator comment because the intimacy coordinator is talking to her creative director, who is played by my love, Troye Sivan, doing an American accent, killing it. Great accent work. I feel like as a society, we have been truly dragged through the ditches in some bad accent work in the last couple of years. You know, the bar is low. I'm expecting Troy and Belisario in Pretty Little Liars, hello sister, whenever somebody's doing an accent that isn't their own. Troye Sivan, murdering it, killing it, amazing. He's her creative director, and he goes, if she wants to show nipple, she should be allowed to show nipple. It's her body. It's empowering. And the intimacy coordinator is like, it's not in her contract. We can't get it changed. She talks to him and she's like, I want to show nipple. It's empowering. And he's like, intimacy. I'm an intimacy coordinator. I'm a prude. I'm the villain, I guess. And then her manager, Chaim, locks him in a closet so she can show nipple. And that is feminism, I think. Again, it is weird to comment on this because, like, I don't know if that's correct or not. I don't know if it's supposed... The thing that confuses me about this is there are moments in which this show is good. I'm not going to say it's not good. It's got an amazing cast. We're going to get to everyone who's in the cast. Truly, whoever did the casting on this, I want to kiss their little toes. It's amazing. We have Troye Sivan as her creative director, Rachel Sennett, stand-up queen, amazing comedian playing her assistant. We've got Jenny Ruby Jane from Blackpink playing a dancer and Jocelyn's friend. We have Divine Joy Randolph, who is such a good actor. She was in the High Fidelity reboot with Zoe Kravitz, and she is fucking phenomenal. She should be in a million different things. We have Dan Levy. We have Hari Neff. Like, the cast... really good, acting their asses off. And there are moments in which this show is a comedy and it's funny. It's confusing because I don't know if the show wants to be like a psychological, sexy thriller that's really edgy, or does it want to be a comedy commenting on that. The half of the show that's like a funny comedy commenting on that, amazing. An amazing comedic cast, very funny. And if the show was just playing for laughs, isn't it horrible that they're locking this intimacy coordinator in a closet? It's like, yeah, that's funny. But I'm watching it, I'm like, this is funny. And then I'm like, but is Sam Levinson, the guy who wrote and directed this, who did Euphoria, like, is it ironic or not? I don't know. While she's getting her photo taken, her PR specialist, maybe played by Dan Levy, starts talking to her assistant and her manager, basically saying that there's a leaked photo on the internet of Jocelyn with cum on her face. Again, there's parts where this is played for laughs in a way that, like, is maybe good. It's like the Hitchcockian, like, bomb under the table. There's all these sequences in which Jocelyn is, like, taking photos for her cover and rehearsing with her dancers for her tour and music video, and she doesn't know that the photo has leaked yet. And you're like, oh, this is good TV. Like, I'm into this. I like this. It's fun. It's fresh. It's funky. But then there's also moments where you're like, as the show goes on, it becomes like women's bodies are a battleground for violence and sex. Women must be brutalized. Like, it's very much like a Little Life core. Like, your body is a place for trauma only, you know? And it gets tiring. Like when I was watching this, I made the comment, I'm looking at my notes here, and I said, is this show maybe good? Because, like, they have this whole conversation where her whole team is trying to be like, should we tell her that this photo of her with cum on her face is released, or should we wait until she's done her interview with Vanity Fair? And they have these, like, funny conversations where one of her managers is like, who among us hasn't had cum on our face? Who hasn't? And then, like, there's a conversation between Divine Joy Randolph, Dan Levy, and Rachel Sennett where they're like, is the photo a selfie? Like, it is funny. This is it. You're like, they're getting into the minutia. They're getting lost in the weeds of if it's a selfie or not. Like, it matters. Very funny. She still doesn't know. Jocelyn gets ready to go do her rehearsal for her music video, I believe. Her dancer is named Diane. One of her dancers, her name is Diane. She's played by Jenny from Blackpink, and it's spelled Dyanne, which is a choice. It's a choice. Is it a good one or a bad one? I'm not at liberty to say. It's not my place to say. She runs through the dance, Jocelyn does, and she's like missing her cues, whatever. So the choreographer's like, take a break, baby, take a break. And everyone in her team is like whispering because they're like, she had a mental breakdown last year because she was exhausted because her mom died. Exposition. We love it. And then while she's taking a break, they're like, Diane will just do it so you can rest and watch. Jenny kills it. There is a problem that I find with a lot of TV shows like this with really big ensemble casts that cast really good people in those, like, secondary roles, is that you're watching Jenny dance and you're like, she's better than Jocelyn. You know what I mean? Like, you're watching Rachel Sennett and Dan Levy and Divine Joy Randolph like have this comedic scene that's masterful and amazing, and you're like, I want the show to be this. Can't the show be this instead of just being like Jocelyn being like, I'm depressed, my music is bad, you know? Like, they're casting these character actors with amazing charisma, and it's tough because you're like, Lily Rose Depp, beautiful, a great actor, like she's in it, but it's tough because all of the ancillary characters, they're fun. You know what I mean? Love that. So they have Jenny do a big dance. She's amazing. It kind of reads as if the director knew that the Blackpink stans, the Blinks, for the educated, are gonna watch if Jenny's doing stuff. So every single episode, they pepper in her singing and dancing so that they know it'll get reshared on Twitter. And that's business. You know what I mean? That's business. The song is called I'm a Freak. Jocelyn gets up after watching Jenny do it, does the whole dance. It's like evocative of early Britney Spears, but it's like she's wearing like the littlest bikini top known to man, just covering her nipples. And the whole like dance is like, I'm not gonna do it because I don't have sex appeal. I've got something, but it's not that. But it's like very, very pornographic. She's getting touched a lot. And I guess this is where, like, I think the show is trying to be like, what is the line between empowerment and sexualization? If it's not making that comment, we've got a problem, because it's so in your face about it. Jocelyn gets upset after the rehearsal. She finds out that the photo of her with cum on her face is leaked, and she also doesn't like the music she's making. She thinks it's not good pop music. So she's in the sauna with Jenny, and she's like, let's go to a club. So they go to a club that is owned by Tedros. This is the Weeknd full rat tail. I could not tell you, and I hope to God it is an acting choice, because he plays this character with zero charisma. Like, it's the Weeknd, a person who is he's a famous singer. He's got a lot of charisma. Tedros has the charisma of a box of hair and a rat tail. He looks like he smells, and I think it's a choice. I'm pretty sure it's a choice. He sucks. You know what I mean? Like, he's not cool. He's not a good guy, and yet she still falls for him. They're dancing in the club, and he gets on the mic, and he's like, Jocelyn, I love you. You're so beautiful, baby. You're so beautiful. Let's have a dance. And they dance together. Great. I don't know if y'all saw all the coverage of The Idol before it happened. The reason I'm trying to be so fair and completely as unbiased as I possibly can be is because I feel like the media really primed us to hate the show. Because they're like, this show is bad. It's abusive. It's horrible. It's going to be a mess. The budget is $75 million. So it's like when the media stirs that up, it's like kind of expecting you to hate it. And I don't think the show is bad. The first episode is great. The pilot, amazing. But there were a lot of articles being like, The Weeknd went method acting, and he was insane. He was manipulative on set. Lily Rose Depp had to avoid him on set. And you watch this performance and you're like, for this? That's all I'm saying. Stop method acting. Just learn your lines. Maybe learn your lines. I'm not an acting master, as exemplified by the fact that my acting credits include solely commercials. But like, is abusing your coworkers worth it? I feel like you could maybe just learn the lines. Afterwards, they're talking in the stairwell, and she's talking to Tedros, and she's like, I hate the music I'm making. It's empty and boring, and it's empty pop. And he says, make pop music like Prince. You know Prince? That's easy. Reinvent the genre and become a gender-bending icon beloved by everybody. It's easy, babe. She goes home and she chokes herself while masturbating. That happens. The amount of I've got nothing to say on that. Later, she's kind of moping on the couch and talking to her assistant, played by Rachel, and she's like, I'm gonna invite Tedros over. I'm gonna invite him over because my single's bad and I feel like he could help me with it. Again, then I'm like, maybe this is a great comedy. Maybe this is really funny, because her assistant is like, oh, really? He's really rapey. He's got rapey vibes. And then Lily Rose Depp's character is like, yeah, that's kind of what I like about him. And you're like, is this highbrow comedy? It's close. He shows up in a long fucking trench coat, looking like a killer. In the mirror, he practices his greeting to them like a killer. And then he comes in and he chokes her. They basically are working on the album, and he's like, you need to be sexy. You need to have sex to be able to sing a song about being a freak. So he covers her face and basically puts a plastic bag over her head until she's so dying. And then he pokes a little hole in her mouth, and she's like, normal. And then he remixes her song, I'm a Freak. Episode 2 opens up with her showing a new version of her song, parentheses from the vault, parentheses Taylor's version, Tedros' version, I guess, that he remixed. It is So funny. Again, like, just make the show a comedy instead of being like, it's about sex and power. Just make it insane and fun. Make it White Lotus. You know what I mean? That's what I want from this. Because the single is the same song, just with her loudly moaning over it. I can't describe it beyond showing you the entire clip. I have to. I do not care if I get copyrighted. And if I do, it's because YouTube is trying to stop me from speaking the truth.
Something sweet when it gets time to eat. You better start your own like, oh, 'cause I know that you don't really know how to handle it. My heart's cold as a stone when you ask me who you're dealing with.
Like, that is either the best comedy ever written or a crime against all senses. I do not know which. It's shocking. Her team is like, it's bad, which is fair. It's not a good song. And this pisses Jocelyn off because she's like, this is art. And babe, I assure you, it's not. And one of the members of her team is like, you need to get your act together, because Jocelyn's complaining, being like, the album is bad. It's hack. It's bad. And they're like, babe, I know your mom died. Everyone dies. Cool thing to say. This is, again, we start to see kind of the darkness of this team, not supporting her and not being good for her. If somebody is clearly going down a spiral, you don't go, I know how your mom died, but guess what? Everyone dies. Get over it. It's been what? 5 months? I think it's time to be over it. So she's upset about this. She cracks open like GarageBand basically and puts an ice cube on her vagina or vulva. Because what is this show without sexuality and women's bodies? We have not seen a naked man at this point. Worth saying. We're just seeing Lily Rose Depp's pussy. Here's the thing, and this is a very like auteur director thing. Don't know a lot about film, but I feel like I have eyes where whenever they're like, it's about sex and brutality and how sexy things are, and then it's just like a woman being naked and abused, I'm like, show me a cock, you know? Show me full hole. Then we'll talk. She calls him later to complain about how like nobody is believing in her. He's literally, when he picks up the call, getting his rat tail done in the club. Hilarious. This show has moments of masterful, like it's like masterful in a way. And he says, you've got a very powerful voice and I can't wait to rip it out of you. So obviously there's some kind of club shit going on here. There's an artist named Isaac who is a part of his cult that he has in the club. He's a young artist that Tedros discovered, and to teach him how to dance and sing at the same time, he electrocutes him. Slay. No. Jocelyn shows up to the filming of her new music video, and she kind of does like a Marilyn Monroe Black Swan perfectionist moment, and she keeps making them restart over and over and being like, something's not right. I fucked that up. She's like a perfectionist, right? She's going wild. She keeps saying like, something's wrong, and I don't know what, but something is wrong, which is me watching the show. I'm like, something is not right here. Go back to the comedy. Go back to the come on her face. That was a funny storyline. To me, I want to see more of that. While Jocelyn like walks off the set and is like, this song is bad. The music video is hacking bad. Jenny sits down with one of Jocelyn's managers and sings for her. And the manager's like, you can sing and dance? Let's get you to Hollywood, kid. Let's get you to Tinseltown. We gotta cut a new version of this. So Jenny, she's on her way to the top, baby. But then we find out that Jenny works for Tedros, aka Jenny. She's a part of his cult, and she's supposed to infiltrate Jocelyn's inner circle and basically steal her career from her. Are you keeping track? This show is 9 different shows. Keep track of the through lines, baby. After she storms off the music video set, she invites Tedros and his whole entourage/cult to her house. She has what can only be described as the most horrific sex scene I've ever seen, while comical saxophone music plays over top. I am begging for Rachel Sennett screen time. I am begging, bring back Dan Levy, bring back Hari Neff, bring back Divine Roy Johnson, Joy Rob. Bring back Divine. Bring him back. I need someone else. Anytime it's just Tedros and Jocelyn on the screen, I'm so bored. He does dirty talk to her and he says, I want to fucking stretch that tight little pussy. And at that point I considered, maybe I gotta put a knife in my ear. I don't think hearing is for me right now. I don't think I want to do that. Then afterwards, she and the cult sing at the piano about being friends and family, very Glee, very New Directions, and the cult moves into her house. Great. I'm sure this is fine. Her career is over. She's stormed off the set of that music video. She has no support around her at all besides her assistant and her now cult. This is fine. Episode 3. The cult moves in, baby. Rachel Sennett is trying to talk to Jocelyn's managers and being like, the cult is bad. Tedros is not a good guy. We need to get him out of here. So her managers, Haim and Divine, they interview Tedros and they're like, what's your background? Where do you come from? He gives them no real answers at all. He's evasive, witness for the prosecution, mystery. And then when they're leaving, they're like, love him, Jocelyn. He's such a nice guy. He's great. And then they leave and they're like, he's fucked up. That's bad, right? That's really bad. Where is this story going? Who knows? So, of course, they make Rachel Sennett, as the assistant, drive Jocelyn and Tedros to Rodeo Drive to do shopping because he wants to buy her outfits. He wants to control her image. They make out in the back of the convertible and do heavy petting. Then they go into Versace and have sex in the dressing room. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love sex. This is awesome for me. Then we do a cut to Jenny as Diane. She's filming the new music video now, killing it. She's the winner here. I mean, all she had to do was ruin a woman's life, and now she's a pop star. That's the Black Swan, baby. That's showbiz. Isaac, the guy who got electrocuted, is talking to Jocelyn, and they're basically, it's just a long conversation that I don't care about, where they're like, I would do anything for Tedros. He would kill me if I didn't. Normal and good. Then they all kiss each other like they're teenagers at a party. They all make out, whatever. Meanwhile, Tedros is talking to Troye Sivan. If you remember, Troye Sivan is Jocelyn's creative director. And he's basically like, your creative direction is shit. It's hack. It's derivative. I hate it. And Troye Sivan's like, hey, I know, but the label won't let me do anything interesting. It's not my fault. And then Tedros is like, what would you do? And he's like, well, if you want, she's going to be the new bad girl of pop. She's going to be the new bad girl. I would make that photo of her with cum on her face from the first episode her album cover. And Tedros is like, great, tell her that at dinner. They have a big dinner, Applebee's style, family style. And Troye Sivan tells her that. She's fine with the idea. Rachel Sennett is like, I don't think you're going to isolate your young fans. You're going to ostracize them because their parents aren't going to let them buy an album with cum on it. To be quite honest, she's a business girl. She raises legitimate points, I would say. That's kind of the end of that conversation. Jocelyn then reveals that her mother, who died, remember her, used to abuse her, kind of Jeanette McCurdy, I'm glad my mom died energy. She would hit Jocelyn with a hairbrush whenever she would mess up dances, talk to the wrong people, flirt with the wrong people at club, say something out of turn. Her mom would beat her with a hairbrush. And now she hasn't been able to write a song since her mom died, and she thinks it's because she craves the stability of the abuse. Can Jocelyn catch a break? Absolutely not. Her team knew about the abuse. They did nothing. This is a pretty horrifying thing. You would think that maybe a regular person would be like, wow, that's tough. Wow. That explains a lot. Are you okay? Tedros goes, all that trauma? You got to use that for inspiration. And then he says, I hope you still have that hairbrush. And then he holds the hairbrush over the fire like he's going to burn it, but instead hits her, spanks her with the hairbrush. Remember the pilot? That was fun and good. I miss it. So we basically finish on the 3rd episode. She's canceled her album. She's stormed off the set of her music video. Jenny has taken all of the credit. Her team is confused. The cult has moved in. What is going to happen in The Idol, the final 2 episodes of The Idol? Babe, I do not know. I'm excited to see where it goes. All in all, I think it looks great. The aesthetics are really cool. The moments of the show that are self-aware and comedic are fucking funny. The cast is phenomenal. It's just like a lot of brutalization. And is that the point? Is that what they're trying to say? I don't know. I don't have a PhD in film criticism. I couldn't tell you, but I'm confused. Thank you so much for watching. My Instagram and all that fun stuff is in the description below. Subscribe if you want. I mean, I don't care. So, I don't need this. I don't need any of you. Other than that, I'll see you soon. Bye.